Commercial GCs, this is the ultimate way to manage all of your daily logs for all of your projects and report on the information as well. By the way, if you're a commercial GC doing between $10 to $50 million a year in revenue and you would like systems to improve the profitability and cash flow of your projects, check out the link in the description below. Anyway, as you can see here, I'm inside of a system. Now, this entire system has been built on Monday.com, but has been designed specifically for commercial GCs such as yourself. And in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through the entire daily log setup that we've created so we can easily submit, track, manage, and also report on the daily logs across all of our different projects managed by all of our different project managers. Okay, so I'm just going to be walking you through everything from start to finish. Now, if you do want a system like this, check out the link in the description below, book a call with me and we can have a chat. But everything starts from our hosting board. Now, this is probably not going to mean much to you, but the hosting board is essentially our global form that we're using for our RFIs, for our change orders, and now for our daily logs as well. So we have your company name, whatever your company's called, and then your global form. Now, this will allow your team to submit anything through this form. They only need one link. It massively reduces the headache to transfer information between different areas of the business. Also means that emails are not lost. There are no emails being sent into inboxes. There's actually a process to manage the things that need to be done within inside of your organization. So to begin with, I'm just going to give this a name. So this is going to be our example daily log. Okay. And then we need to enter in a project reference number. Now we're managing all our projects within Monday.com as well, within this system that we've built. And you can see here, every single project that we have has a unique project reference number. It's required in order to create a new project. It can be literally like a 5-digit reference number like you can see here. I mean, it doesn't need to be as simple as 54321. But the point being that you have a unique means of referring to the project that you're submitting data for. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and enter in 54321 as our project reference number. Your team should know, and it should be widely accessible, the project reference number for every single project that they are working on. Awesome. So now we can go ahead and select the submission type. Now we can manage RFIs. We can submit RFIs via this form. We can submit change orders via this form as well. Obviously, so RFIs are not sat idle. Change orders are managed and then approved, and then cash flow is dealt with faster. So your cash flow is improving per project, and you're not kind of missing those change orders, meaning you're not eating the cost. But also we have daily logs as well. Okay, so I can select the daily log submission type, and then I'm asked to enter in all of the information regarding this particular daily log. So to begin with, it's going to ask me who is submitting this, and then I can go ahead and enter in the date of the submission. So when is this daily log for? So let's just say the 13th of the 10th today. And then our crew size can be, let's say we had a 15 crew on site today. And then we can go ahead and put in work forms. So we did this and this and this. Hopefully your team will be slightly more descriptive than that, but you get the idea. And then you can say we used this and this and this. And then we can select our weather conditions as well. So we've got our drop down menu here, and we can select which weather conditions apply for this particular day. So we could say sunny, or we could say rainy. I'm based in the UK, so it is consistently rainy here. And then we can go ahead and write in any delays / issues noted. So we were delayed by this and this and this. You're kind of getting the idea here, right? And then we can also select safety incidents as well. So if there are any safety incidents, in this case, I'm just going to say there was a minor issue. We can also ask the person that's submitting the daily log to upload any photos or attachments if they wanted to. And they can literally do all of this directly from their phone. So it's really easy for them to do. They don't need a tablet or need access to the computer. They can do this all from their phone while they're leaving site or on site. And then you've got inspection or QA notes. So I'll just put example notes, etc., etc. Now, I will mention here, and I think it is pertinent to note, that all of this can be customized. So if you are a commercial GC and you want a system similar to this, then we can customize the questions that are asked dependent on you and your business and the data points that you want to track. So for example, if the safety incident is equal to minor or major, we can ask a series of other questions. We can implement conditional logic into our form here. But once you press submit, so a new daily log has been created for this particular project, project, it's then going to go ahead and create a new record on our daily logs board, and the project reference pulls across, which means it's going to automatically connect to the project. It then also pulls across the project manager associated with that project based on the project reference number. We can see who submitted it, the day in which it was submitted, the crew size for that particular day, and then we can look at all of the information such as the work performed, equipment/materials used, the weather conditions, delays, safety incidents, photos, and then inspection or QA notes. So again, those data points on the form can then also map to this. Now, we are actually currently experimenting with a couple of things using AI to grade our daily logs. So when a daily log comes in, it might be quite a arduous task for a project manager to look through all of the different data points. So what we're doing is using AI to collate all of the information, or at least create a synopsis of all of the information, and then score it between 1 and 10. So if it's good or bad. So that's stuff that we're currently experimenting with at the moment. But needless to say, a new daily log is created, then the project manager is automatically assigned to review the daily log. They can then go ahead and change the status from submitted to under review. So they might just put it under review because there was a safety incident, or they might just go ahead and approve it instantly. Okay, so they could go ahead and change the status to approved. If, let's say, the safety incident was a major incident, then they might leave this under review. They need to find out exactly what went on. And we also have a view up the top here to just show us our major safety incident. So we can click here and we'll be able to see all of the review logs or daily logs that have been submitted where there was a major safety incident. Okay, and you can create other views as well to see more specific data that you would want to be able to track, such as, let's say, show me weather conditions, for example. So that's the daily logs and the review process of the daily logs that the project manager would need to go through for each of the projects that they're assigned per daily log submission, which is really, really nice. Okay, makes things a lot easier. Make sure that you are not missing information, that the projects are going on track. The project manager knows exactly what is happening per project, especially if they're managing multiple projects. So this is really critical information. Now, we then have the ability to report on our daily log submissions as well. Now, given the fact that there's only 2 daily logs here, or 1 daily log, I'm just going to duplicate this. And just to give you an example as to what having more than one daily log would look like. So I'll associate this one with project number 2. I'll change this to no safety incidents, and then we'll go over to our daily logs dashboard. Okay, so now we can see the logs per week per project. So, or logs per project per week. So we can see that this week we've had 1 daily log for project number 1 and 1 daily log for project number 2. Very easy this way to see if there is a missing daily log or multiple missing daily logs for a particular project on a weekly basis. We also then have our average crew size per project, which again is a very helpful data point, because if I change this to project number 1 as well, and then I change the crew size for this day. So imagine this is the same project, but this was the 14th and this was the 13th. This will give us an average of the crew size based on all of the submissions for that particular project. So I can see the average crew size for the project over all of the daily log submissions is 11, okay, which is really helpful. We then have the log status by project, so we can see the status of all of the logs by, in this case, project manager. So we can see if there's a particular project manager that's not very quick at, let's say, going to our daily logs board and then actually checking them and then approving them. We'd be able to see that here. So we can see the approved and the under review by project manager. If I then change this to project number 2 as an example, then we go back to our daily logs board, you'll see how that's split. So we've got 2 different project managers here. Nick Borman, obviously on top of managing all of the daily logs for the projects that he's responsible for managing. And then CRM Crew Development, who is another project manager, is behind. I mean, he's not, because there's only 1 to review. But if there were loads, then you'd be able to see that. We then have safety issues split. So we can see the percentage of submissions across all of the submissions, across all of the different projects, as how many safety issues that we've had. So we can see at the moment 50% of all the submissions or daily logs that we've had have been major, and 50% there have been no safety issues. And this is the same with weather conditions as well. So we can see at the moment there's 100% of all of the daily logs, the conditions were rainy. If I change this to windy, we can see it's a 50-50 split here. Again, the more daily log data you collect, the more accurate you'll be able to see, and you'll be able to predict, well, 1 in 100 daily logs, we have a major incident. or you could say 1 in 100, we have a minor safety incident. 1 in 1,000 daily logs, we have a major incident. You'd be able to track that information here. And then you could also see your weather conditions. So again, if you're going into the new year, once you've got enough data, you can kind of have a prediction on what the weather's going to do. I mean, you're not going to become a weatherman, but you'll be able to forecast potential delays using this data here. We then have log status by project. So we can see by project number 1, there is 1 daily log to review. In project number 2, there is 1 that's already been approved. We then have safety incidents by project manager. So this is going to show us the project manager associated with the daily log that's for that particular project, and then if there are safety incidents. Now, you will then be able to see if there's a particular project manager that has a lot more safety incidents than the other project managers for those daily logs. That might be a bit of a red flag for you to go and manage, look at, find out exactly what's going on. We can see here that Nick Boardman has, across the 1 submission that he's had, no safety incidents, and CRM Crew Development has had 1 major safety incident. We can also see exactly the same data by project as well. So project number 1 has had no safety issues. Project number 2 has had no safety issues. Project number 1 has had 1 major safety issue. And then we got weather conditions by project. So all of the submissions, what's the weather been like per project across all of the submissions. We've had 1 windy day for project number 1 and 1 rainy day for project number 1. Again, the more data that you collect, the better that this is going to look. And then we've got total labor days per project. Now, I think this is pretty cool. So total labor days is the total number of crew on that particular day. So you can see here we've got 7 for project number 2, and that is 7 labor days. So 1 day submission, but because it's 7, that's 7 labor days, right? If I change this to project number 1 as well, go back to our daily logs dashboard, you'll see total labor days is the total number of crew across all of the daily log submissions. So you can see we've got 15 and 7. That means the total labor days has been 22 for this particular project. This will obviously take into consideration all of the submissions for this particular project. And then we got labor days per project per week. So this is the count of labor days submitted. So same principle as per project, but on a weekly basis as well. So you can see if per project there are labor days trending up for that project or labor days trending down for that project. You'll be able to track that here as well. So I'll show you what I mean. If I change the date of submission to, let's say, the 21st, so next week, and go back to our daily logs, you'll be able to see we've had 15 labor days for project number 1 on the week commencing the 13th, and we've had 7 for the 20th, okay, for project number 1. So that is our dashboard. Hopefully this video has been somewhat interesting, showing you how to submit daily logs very, very easily via the global form. We also, before I run ahead, we also have just a standard form for daily logs. So you don't necessarily have to use the global form if you don't want to. We just have a standalone form that is strictly just for daily logs as well. So if you don't want to have the global form, you don't have to. That then gets submitted into the process here, and then you can report on the information that you collect. All of this can be customized to suit you and your business. So if there are data points you want to be able to collect, data points that you also want to be able to report on, that is all possible with customizations to this basic setup here. So if you are a commercial GC between $10 to $50 million a year in revenue, and you would like systems just like this to improve the profitability, improve the cash flow, improve the operational efficiency of your business, check out the link in the description below, or watch some of my other videos about how you can improve your business that I have on this channel. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Thank you ever so much for taking the time to watch the video. Hopefully this has given you a good idea as to how easy it would be to manage your daily logs moving forward. And I'll hopefully see you soon. Thank you and goodbye.